going live. You're live. All right, there we go. Just testing the lighting out, seeing how everything is. Um, Go this way a little bit. There we go. Yeah. Um, stand here. Hey guys, how you doing? I'm live. Um, and I am not live on YouTube. I mean, I'm on YouTube. I'm not live on Facebook right now. And I'm going to do that in just a second. I got a beautiful picture um, on Facebook, and I got a lot to talk about. I had some issues going on in more ways than one. Um, kind of got to get rid of you know, make it look kind of symmetrical here. Um, and we go this way maybe more. How's that? That's better. Maybe I should have did this beforehand. That looks kind of cool. Um, so let's go live here on Facebook, and then I'm going to get into things. I didn't really announce this. It's easier for me to create this material live. So, you know, um, don't expect 1,000 people in the live chat or whatever. It's kind of irrelevant. But it's cool if you are. It's just mostly about getting the material out there that I have, my research that I've been doing. And, everything is gestation and bringing forth. That was a quote I got from a very famous philosopher, something I believe last name Rayner. But it's something that's always kind of stuck with me. So I'm going to go ahead and do the like, like that. Stand over here, and I can go like this a little bit. All right, and then I kind of like that a little better. So let's go live here on Facebook. It's a 3, 2, 1, boom! You're live. Okay, so we're live in like um more than one way. And what I want to do is I just want to make sure that in my settings here, I am definitely linked up to the right Wi-Fi. Okay, cool. All right, let's just get out of that. All right, let's go back to that. Here we go. Perfect. All right. Um, because if I'm not, the signal won't broadcast correctly. Um, so I have a lot to talk about, and I'll go over some of the material. Let me fix this. Some of the material later. Um, but what had happened to me, and I wanted to kind of start, doing a Facebook live as I'm simultaneously doing a live on my YouTube channel. And what happened was I ended up getting one of my videos blocked for some copyright stuff, and I did not put in the footnote, the link, um, and I don't know if I played too much, but you're supposed to be able to play links from other videos without you know it being blocked or copyrighted, and that's what happened. So um, there was some good material I had, and I ended up I was a little discouraged by it. Um, but here I am. I'm back, and I realized that kind of putting a little bit of a positive spin on that is that I had the practice. I had the time that I actually got to do create, learning about creating a YouTube live video and playing links. Um, So I had that experience, but um, it was kind of discouraging. But I have all my notes and everything, and I figured, it's a learning experience, and I'm going to keep going forward. But I wanted to maybe have more material out, like every day or every week or so. And it's just, between being a dad, having a full time job, and everything else I have to deal with, it's been kind of hard for me to um, put out these videos that I'd like to, every single day or week or whatever. Um, but the thing is that I really just excuse me. I just really kind of enjoy creating these videos, and they're a lot of fun. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'd like to in the future have more of these types of videos. These videos that are broadcasting simultaneously. So we'd have um, Twitter Spaces, which I'm on, by the way, at Arico Jeffrey or Arico Jeff Enrico Jeffrey, Arico Jeffrey Jeffrey. And it's on X or Twitter or whatever you want to call it. And yeah, and I'm just kind of working on material, constantly doing research, constantly. Um, I'm on X a lot. There's a lot of stuff and material that you don't see on Facebook, and I kind of keep it as like a science and technology based thing. I interact with people. I want to do more spaces too um, in the future, and also I'm going to have people on in the future. But what I'm doing right now is just kind of working on my material, um, learning different things, and let me see if I can make this larger here. And there we go. It's a lot of fun. Hopefully, in the future, we'll have a lot more guests and everything. But really, what I kind of want to do now is be able to do this really, consecutively and everything, and then have a following. Hopefully, in the future, have a lot of people that, as I promote and everything and learn about that, um, have more people involved in this, and then once that's like established, then we'll try to bring in more guests and everything. So, um, I don't really have a lot of people live on my YouTube channel, and I'm just kind of starting out here and everything. So, I go live on Facebook, and I plan to go live on Instagram, and then on X, on the Spaces too. Um, So I kind of wanted to just go over some of the material and things that I had, and um, but what I wanted to kind of do is backtrack and like I said, I didn't really advertise this and everything, so people can go back and they can watch this and everything, and it's just a really easy way um, for me to create these shows right now, and it's kind of like how I started out doing broadcasting was doing it live. Um, so kind of going in and like recording and editing and doing that kind of thing. Um, I'm not as accustomed to that, and I plan on doing more things like that, um, creating documentaries, etc. But I have a ton of equipment to get and all that kind of stuff. It takes a lot of space to create videos. So the amount of videos and everything that I like to create, I just don't have that kind of space and capacity. So hopefully in the future will be, kind of. I just kind of want to start, but I also want to have good material too. I mean, maybe tech wise, I might not have some of the best stuff right now, but material wise, meaning that all the stuff that I had been going over, researching, reading, um, not just Google searches. Um, so I've been doing journals, a lot of stuff I've been kind of just diving in and learning about what's going on and all that. So right now, it looks like we got maybe like one person tuning in, and then hopefully more will come in the future. But there's just so much material here that I'm going to go over. Hopefully, I have enough time to kind of go over it all. But where I wanted to start at is going back in time where, and the reasons why I actually want to start a podcast, a YouTube channel, and what that subject matter is going to be. Excuse my pink cup right here. I need my coffee. Keeps me going. Um, so there are many reasons why I wanted to start a podcast and a YouTube channel, and I want to go over some of the reasons why, my credentials, um, and in time, I like to show the world more about like me. I think that there's a lot that I have to offer, and um, there was I had a great radio show for a long time, and when that came to the end, I kind of I felt lost for a while, um, and now I really kind of want to get back into it. Um, so I don't really know what the kind of move on from that there, but so let's see here. I'm gonna go back to, let's see here. This is, and like kind of my credentials or my history. Um, and also about writing, because a lot of it, and like I was talking about, research has to do with writing, um, and reading a lot and listening, um, and that's what I spend a lot of my time doing is writing. So um, so let's start with my credentials. So for in 2000, it was 2013 until 2020, I produced radio shows, and that is on celestial radio, good old frequency modulation, internet broadcasting. I also broadcasted on different applications like the TuneIn app, and I actually held a lead position as audio engineer for Princeton University sports teams. And I worked as the liaison between the university and Princeton University's radio station, WPRB. It was run by undergrads at Princeton. It's actually the oldest college radio station in the nation, and it's the first station to I'm almost positive, and I've read this from a lot of sources, and I've heard this before, that they are um, the first college station to sign on to FM signal. Um, so, and I think that was, anyway, from 20, they changed their signal at some point, which I'll go over. Where it seemed like they were sharing it, and it wasn't as, I don't think the radius was as far, and um, but I mean they had a really wide, not only a wide broadcasting range, but their actual signal, their FM signal, um, was very strong. Um, so let's see here. So WPRB, it was actually heard. It still is heard on 103.3 FM and also around the world. So even though it's a college radio station, it can be picked up over about 15,000 square miles and broadcasting at about 14,000 watts of stereo power, which is just about, if not further than some of the major radio stations in the area. And I know you could tune in on a clear day and receive a signal from the outskirts of New York, North, Central, South Jersey, including the Jersey Shore, South Philadelphia, Eastern Pennsylvania, Wilmington, Delaware. Now, since WPRB dates back to the early days of broadcasting before current rules had been adopted, it is grandfathered on its current frequency and power level. And furthermore, it can it had a greater amount of power that is split as signal, and that's what I was talking about earlier with another broadcasting agency. Why am I telling you all this? Why is this important? So you have to remember that New Jersey is one of the most densely populated states in the nation. So with a population density of 1,259 per square mile, that may be a kind of a ballpark number, but pretty close. New Jersey has about 9.6 million people crammed into a small space um, of about 8,723 square miles. So my point is, having a radio show on that station was big. And since WPRB was a free form radio station, and me talking in past tense means, because of being allowed to play what you want on that station, having that free form was enormous. Most radio stations have this, you know, I don't know. There's a lot of controversy with payola. It's an issue. People being paid off to play certain things. Um, but having this free form where I can pretty much, if it was part of a major label or whatever, I could play what I want. And that was enormous for me, to be able to, I never really thought about it necessarily as power, and it can be very influential to people and have a domino effect more than we think on the arts, the style and everything. And I really got into wanting to have more of a local kind of presence and interviewing local people, which I'm going to get into in this YouTube channel. I'm going to be interviewing a lot of great people in the future, local people, people that are just absolutely amazing. Some being famous, and maybe some that are that famous either. But nonetheless, it was just for me. It ended, and we don't have to get into the reasons why it ended right now, but it did, and it was it really kind of, it was a great thing, a great experience. And then there was like this kind of void I had. Um, but like I said, I'll get into that later. Um, but I worked as an engineer producer under contractual agreement there. It was for football, basketball, um, and basketball was probably my most exciting thing to broadcast there. And I also did lacrosse shows as well. During the time, I fell in love with the way that I produced these shows. In other words, the way that the show came to life, the organization. I was given a sheet that had different segments in it, according to time, and known as a program log. And I would just see a piece of paper come to life. It was just such a amazing thing. And I would change. I also remember I would change the signal, and to this day, the sweet sound of the ambience playing on the monitor. I would always get a little nervous before going to the radio station, and once I had it locked in, I could hear the squeaking of the basketball um, shoes and on the court, and the buzzing and people and the music in the backgrounds um, and it was really cool. I would get audio files as well, and I have to put them in from different interviews and so I mean, what did I write here? Yeah, and I would okay, so that we would have different commercials. I would feed them in. I would feed in the announcers, and all that together is what made this whole show kind of come to life. Um, I think that was my only point I was trying to make there. Um, I was never really a hardcore sports person. It was more about like the engineering aspect, putting that together. When I was younger, I was a little obsessed with hockey, but I really grew up to love to kind of love music. Kind of grew up more into kind of getting into that more when I was like 13, playing guitar. Um, but it was probably my favorite job at producing these shows. Um, and I would do it all over again, definitely. Um, so I also produced music shows there too. So I didn't just produce these shows that were or had to do with sports. There was and this was kind of a free thing that you would do. I produced music shows that featured continuous mixing. Throughout that was centered around electronic music, but the music itself, it didn't have a lot of talking, so it was kind of like these continuous mixes, and and I would kind of create these like hypnotic experience. I would do a lot of beat matching, blending, that kind of sort of thing. Um, I also got at the time I was getting a lot of feedback from others about how my voice sound, and people said I had a good voice on the radio. You might not notice it as much on here, not having a microphone or whatever. Um, yeah, broadcasting. Okay, all right. Um, but I was getting, people were telling me maybe I should do a show that's not just about music. So I would start having guests on, things like that. Um, now, and I also, I had that's not I had some previous experience with interviewing people. So I really enjoyed doing that for a bit. And I didn't. I also, not only did I work for I work as an engineer in the audio sense as an audio engineer. I also worked as an engineer for a subcontractor. We were civil and electrical engineering, and I was part of a minority business enterprise that worked on huge projects, and also worked with bigger engineering firms as part of their contractual agreement. We worked on proposals and for winning proposals put out by various government agencies, mostly government organizations like various departments of transportation or DOT. Um, we worked on projects for New Jersey DOT, New Jersey State, New Jersey City DOC, like some Superstorm Sandy as well. And we also worked on intelligent transportation systems, ITS, We worked on closed circuits, television, and remote traffic microwave sensors. I worked on hubs with electrical engineering, civil engineers, and physicists too. And I worked actually regularly with a physicist. Um, it was part of my job to first I was hired as typing and uh, clerical work, typing. Um, but then, because of my abilities in tech, being tech savvy, I was basically stepped up to an engineer technician, and we would work on reports, and we would send to various agencies these reports, and I would write up these reports. So prior to filling the position and working with these, I wrote as wizards. Um, I didn't expect to get the amount of respect that I got, and I was developing a style of writing or composition, putting all this together, and I believe that that's also part of me and why I want to go ahead and proceed with doing these types of shows and everything that deal with like science and technology and supernatural philosophy and on a separate note, food, music, cannabis, also, some of my other loves too. And I also kind of like how Elon Musk is in a way that he's kind of he's kind of a person that has can't just like work on one type of thing, that he has to have different things to work on because um, it helps keep those things that you're doing or putting out there more interesting, by having a little bit of time away from those things, you know, and yeah, that's how it helps me create. But I think my problem sometimes is I might have too many things, maybe kind of going on at once or whatever. So, oh man, just gonna stop for a second here. We'll just take a short break. It looks like I may have got some kind of email here. Heck is this? Oh, okay. Well, that's that. All right, not important. Um, so yeah, see where I left off at. And it really, a lot of this had to do with the way that we process the reports, um, for like construction, research, um, and I had such a love for composition, music, sound, um, and science and theory. They explain music, and I really had a love for science as well, music, and the music theory is like the um, composition, the explanation, and it's a universal language too as well. Um, But I might have to take a pause here. It looks like my dog needs to go out. Yoshi, you need to go out, bud. Okay. All right. So we're just going to take a little break here, and I'm just going to keep things running. Like last time I tried to play music, it wouldn't play it. So I'm just going to let my dog out, and I'll be right back in a second here. I'll continue where I left off at. All right. All right. Come on, bud. All right. Come on. All right. What's up, dude? Come on, Yoshi. Come on, sweetie, okay? Okay, I am back. It looked like I had one person listening, and now I have nobody. Um, but that's okay. I think I'm going to do a separate live in a little bit for the other segments, and this segment is mostly going to be around about some of my credentials, some of the things I've worked on. Can be used as a reference point, etc. Um, so you know, that's that. Um, I'm just kind of picking apart some of this material that I had written up about some of the things that I've done in my past, and this is a little bit more about the music shows that I produced. They featured continuous mixing, and it was centered around electronic music. I played anything from house music, garage, um, deep house. There's so many like subgenres, and I don't know if I make this analogy a lot, but I heard it one time in a chat room a long time ago, and what someone said was that, and I think it was referring to electronic music, but um, the maybe more jungle drum and bass stuff is like that it, and I think this same quote applies to almost all electronic music, is that it's like Legos or like universal. It can be mixed with any type of music that you think of. So you could take um, classical music and you can mix it with house music. You can mix it with drum and bass. You can mix it. And then you can take, um, any type of, say, like some Asian world music, and you can mix it with drum and bass. It's been done before. You can mix it with house music. This has been done before. You can mix it with even hip hop beats. So they're like all little Lego pieces that you can kind of mix, and that's it. It's fun. Like DJing is a lot of fun. The thing that's weird about it is that you talk about a copyright issue where you're not using your own stuff all the time and you're using other people's stuff, but you're creating new stuff with that. So then it becomes controversial. Um, but like I said, I mixed electronic music. Um, and I didn't do a lot of talking. Um, so where was I at? Okay. I think I skipped over one part that I don't think that I need to get into right now. Um, but so I had experience creating radio shows, and I had experience producing um, the sports radio shows, um, and I got to see how that came to life, and then writing reports, and then just always having kind of a writing technical reports. Um, I always kind of had a thing for writing to begin with. I remember my mom at an early age getting me a word processor and just being amazed how you could write and you can kind of go into another world, and that always kind of fascinated me about um, being creative and kind of going into um, like the zone or whatever. um, See where we're going to leave off at, and then I think we're going to start a new one soon, and then the next one is going to be more, I think, about current stuff that's going on, and yeah, and more of like a relation to extraterrestrials and things like that. Um, so that was kind of a little bit of a brief history about me. I did that. I did it probably for about 20 so years of producing radio shows, etc. And yeah, I don't know if I'm going to make that connection right now, but I think yeah, that was kind of a little bit of a test run there. I didn't want to play any links right now. I was a little worried about that, and I kind of wanted to explain about um, some things that were going on here. Kind of lost my place here, but I think what we're going to do is I'm going to do a new one, and then I'm going to go over some of the things that are happening now, and then I'm also going to get into what happened with maybe try to reissue that episode that got blocked. So with that, I hope everybody has a great day, and that's the end of the stream for now. Peace.